to Meeting Point. So welcome to all the people in the room. Welcome to all the people online. Really delighted to have you here for another of the West Kent Business events. So my name is Jeff Baxter. So I'm part of West Kent Business, and so we're going to have a session today, which is going to be a mixture of some initiatives that West Kent Business are running, and also a really exciting speaker. So Jess White is going to come and talk to us about partnerships and about how to build profitable partnerships. So that is coming up. So before we start, I'm going to hand over to Emily Haswell of Sevenoaks District Council. She's going to give a little introduction about a few things that are associated with Sevenoaks. So handing over to Emily.
Thank you, Jeff. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Meeting Point for those that are in the room and in the virtual room. Welcome to Meeting Point virtually. We are a co-working centre here in Swanley. We offer a range of desking packages, hot desking, small offices, meeting space, event space like we're making use of today. So really pleased to have you all here with us this morning. I do have to warn you, normally at the beginning of all these events, we say, if the fire alarm goes, we're not expecting a test. Today, we are expecting a test. So if the fire alarm goes, we always do our testing at 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. So anytime after 11 o'clock, my colleague at the back will tell those in the room if we need to evacuate. But please, it should only go for a few seconds. So apologies, Jess, that will interrupt your speech slightly. So we'll just take a pause. Yeah, so apologies for that. If anyone is interested in desking packages or what we do here at Meeting Point, please do give us a shout and we'll explain a bit more. The other things I just wanted to cover very briefly are mainly for businesses in the Sevenoaks district. So apologies to those from the wider West Kent area on these. We've got a new scheme at the moment, which is called Work Boost, which is paying for an employee to work with your company for 12 weeks at 21 hours a week, and we cover the cost of minimum wage. So that's a really exciting programme that we're able to deliver through our UK Shared Prosperity Fund at the moment. So please do let us know if that's of interest. Unfortunately, that one is just for businesses within the Sevenoaks district. Equally, we have a business directory for Sevenoaks district businesses, and I'm really keen to encourage people to sign themselves up, completely free advertising. So please do let us know if you want more info on that one. And we have a really exciting digital training scheme at the moment. So we have access to over 200 online pre-recorded webinars or live webinars on a range of courses, everything from seated yoga to Excel spreadsheets, maybe not both at once, but lots of courses there for any Sevenoaks district business and your employees. So if you've got a number of employees and you want to put them through some training, personal development, it's all there free of charge. So that's a really exciting opportunity right now, available till May. So I do have some leaflets for that at the back, and I'm sure we can circulate something for those that are joining us online today after the event. And one final thing from me to flag up to Sevenoaks businesses, we have a new capital grant scheme coming soon. I know Jeff's going to talk to us later about our micro grant scheme, but I am doing a range of capital grants which are launching early next week. So again, if you're Sevenoaks based, please do leave us your card and we'll make sure you get the information on that. And hopefully we can circulate some info after the event. So that's all from me. If there's anything else that we can help you with in Sevenoaks district, please do give us a shout. We have a team that are here to help businesses. That's what we do. And that's why we run Meeting Point here in Swanley as well. So thank you, and over to you, Jeff. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much indeed, Emily. Yeah, really well done. Yeah, so that's good. So before I introduce Jess, a couple of things to talk about. So for those of you that have come to hear a little bit about the grant scheme, at the end of the presentation, we'll be talking about the grant scheme. It has now launched, and we'll be giving you the link to the application form so that you can access that. But I think for me, probably the most important thing that I wanted to just tell you also about is about the West Kent Expo 2025. So many of you will have been to the West Kent Expo that we ran this year. It was a really, really successful event. We had a huge number of attendees. We had a huge number of exhibitors. And we're going to be back in 2025 to run an even better and an even bigger event. So we are firstly announcing the date. So that's going to be Wednesday, the 12th of March. And it's going to run from 10 a.m. through until 2:30. So similar timings to this year. What I'm also to notify is we're expecting now that we're going to be looking at around 500 to 600 participants, and all of those businesses are from the West Kent area. So it's a really great opportunity for any business to actually access a huge number of local customers. And so that's probably the reason why only a few days after announcing the date is that we've already sold 40% of the exhibition stands. So we are fully expecting again to have run out to sell out of the exhibition stands like we did last year. So if you are interested in that, and if you want to go and take a look on our social media, the West Kent Business social media, there's a video on there which will show you what happened at the event, what it was like, how many people that you're going to be able to get access to. So it's a really good opportunity, really great networking opportunity, and so forth. So 12th of March, tickets are available on Eventbrite now. It's again at the River Centre in Tunbridge. So it's a really, really great location, nice and central. And if you want to find out any information about exhibiting, then drop us an email at expo@westkentbusiness.com. Good. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to now pass over to your speaker, Jess. So I'd like to introduce Jess White of Spark Networking, and I will step out. On you go, Jess.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and thank you all of you for taking some time out today to be here. I'm really excited about the exhibition that Jeff was mentioning. I heard firsthand from lots of people that were there last year that it was an absolutely brilliant event. So I don't know about you, but I'm definitely planning to be there. And I also just want to firstly start by saying the grants that are being launched today. I applied for one last year. And can you see me, by the way? Yeah, on there. Great. Okay. Yeah, the grants application process was super, super easy. And I was delighted to receive a small grant last year, which was really, really helpful. So the process literally takes 5 minutes and is definitely worth trying. So before I start, I just want to thank the team at the Swanley Meeting Point for hosting this today, and to thank Jeff and West Kent Business and everyone that's organised this event. And thank you so much for having me as well. I'm delighted to be here. My name is Jess White, as mentioned by the lovely Jeff. And I'd just like to get an idea from you guys. Can you put your hand up if you own a business? Awesome. Okay. All right. That's a great idea. Thank you. And could you also put your hand up if you believe the sum of the people that you surround yourself with is important? Exactly. So it said that we are the sum of the people that we surround ourselves with, and we can do that via networking. Put your hands up as well if you would like to create more freedom in your life, to earn money whilst doing it, to create more freedom and more wealth in your everyday life. 100%. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So let's just figure out. Here we go. Yeah. So great. So yeah. So I'm Jess White. I've been running Spark for a couple of years now, and it's a business networking company. Essentially, it brings people together. And when you bring professionals together in a relaxed setting, I find, and they feel at ease and able to talk to each other, that's when the magic happens. And so I'm here today to talk to you about partnerships for profit. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram or LinkedIn. The QR codes are there. And I'd love to hear more from you in the future. But yes, partnerships for profit. What does that mean? Let's just move on to the slide. So when we have a partnership, thank you, by the way. There's my slide that says thank you. So what does a partnership look like? So I just want to give you a personal example to begin with. I recently started a podcast called The Networking Spark. And with The Networking Spark, I interview inspiring entrepreneurs to talk about their journeys and to give some helpful tips to other people running their own businesses, because that's the community I serve, or we serve at Spark. But when I took some steps forward to creating a podcast, I very quickly realized that my strengths were not in the editing and the technical side behind it. But thankfully, through a networking event I'd previously been to, I'd been to a networking event to source some specialist on AI, because I wanted to have an AI speaker at one of our events. I met this other guy called David Brown, who's already been running his own podcast for a while. And so I reached out to him, and together we now create the Networking Spark podcast, which again, it's available. You've got the QR codes there on YouTube or Apple. And with the podcast, you can have it running in the background when you're doing the mundane tasks, or maybe you're driving somewhere. And personally, I find with people, business owners who come to networking events, they're there because they want to grow. And part of listening to a podcast is for people that want to learn and grow. So it's a habit I like to get into myself, and I encourage you guys to get into, to listen, to find podcasts that really help you learn something. So what is a successful business partnership? Well, partnerships definitely need to be built on trust, first and foremost. And to build trust, you need to have a great communication. You need to sort of have that from the outset. So when you form a partnership, and that can be several different types of partnerships, which we'll go into in a moment, then it's paramountly important that you set the kind of like the rules or the boundaries really early on, and you keep that communication going really early on. And you don't have to just do that in business settings. In fact, it's really important to make sure you've got a variety of settings to build that relationship with, because you want to know the person that you're partnering with on a deeper level. So you need a mutual commitment, a sense of adaptability to be able to grow together, great communication, and of course, a strategy from the outset. And, you know, when you're thinking about building a partnership or finding a partner, which is going to help you grow in business, then where would you meet them? Any ideas? Hands up if you can think where you could source a partner. Networking, exactly. Yeah, easy answer. So that's why I'm delighted to be talking here today, because that's what we do at Spark, networking events, and we also have a lovely group of members as well. We create networking events to bring diverse groups of people and businesses together. When I decided to come up with the idea of running the first networking event, it was because I was looking for a networking event myself to go to. And what I found was lots of networking groups with lots of rules and regulations, and having to be in the same place at the same time with the same structure and the same people. And I can see that kind of works really well for a lot of people, but for me, it didn't. I also found lots of women's groups, lots of mumpreneurs, which again is wonderful. There's been an uprising of strong women in the last 15, 20 years, and that's amazing. But when I created my networking event, I decided, well, why do I want to delete half of the population when essentially I just want to bring a diverse range of businesses together? So yeah, the idea was to create a unique event that stood out from the crowd, and to attract great people and businesses. And then for those people attending, that then creates or sparks new clients, new business, and essentially business growth. So for those of you watching, I don't have a clicker, so excuse me. So understanding partnerships. So what is a partnership? Well, there's all sorts of different partnerships that you could have. So you might have a strategic alliance. Now, this is where two companies decide to work together, but still as single entities. They don't form a company together, but they work alongside each other to help each other. So they might share tech resources, advertising, audiences, and have a common goal, common interest. There's also sponsorship is a form of partnership, right? Because when you've got a business where you're putting on events or all sorts of different things with businesses, you might want to have a sponsor there behind you to then advertise them. And so that you are then giving a benefit to the sponsor, because of course you want to be doing that. Joint ventures, as I've mentioned before, that's when two companies or two people come together to create a whole new project. And there's a lot more formalities that go on with a joint venture than there is with a strategic alliance. With a joint venture, communication is of course key, setting the rules and the boundaries in the first place. But then the benefits are that you've got two audiences becoming one. And you've got two skill sets to become one. So if you're thinking about creating a joint venture, don't be tempted to go for somebody that's just like you, because the temptation is there. We get on with people that are very similar to us. You want to find someone that's got a whole different range of skills to yourself, like myself and David Brown. He's very techie. I'm not. I'm more creative and a doer. And consequently, we've worked well together, and we're actually forming a business called the Pro Podcast Academy, because we've learned, or I've learned as well, that podcasting is a great form of marketing too, to get your brand out there. So for small business owners, creating a podcast is an excellent idea. It's also a really great way to network. You're reaching out to invite people related to your industry to your podcast. And then of course, franchises as well is another way of creating partners. If you want to expand your business, you know, and you're kind of running around and feeling that you can't be in 10 places at the same time, then you might want to think about franchising your business. So the benefits of partnership is you've got shared expertise. As I mentioned earlier, find somebody that has got different expertise to yourself. You've got, you're sharing the burden. So for those of you that put your hand up to say you've got your own business, you know, there's been this whole uprising of entrepreneurs, and it is wonderful. It's amazing to be your own boss and to create that flexibility around your life, bringing your work into your life. But at the same time, there's a lot of risks we take on. There's a lot of hats we have to wear, and it's not always easy. So it feels like quite a burden. So if you're having a joint partnership, that shares the burden. And then it creates a stronger competitive position. You've got two audiences, or two people is always stronger than one. So a bigger audience and new clients, and therefore a lot stronger than a single entity. So how do we build effective partnerships? As mentioned, you want to spend a lot of time with the person you're building with, or with the company you're building with, create a great sense of trust, and clear and effective ongoing communication. And goal setting is really, did I say goals? Goal setting is really important. From the start, having these constant communication, these meetings to figure out where you're going. Often businesses can start with a great idea, but if you don't have a plan of where you're going and what the goals are and whether they're measurable, then you can just get wrapped up in the day-to-day life of running that business. So setting goals and continuing to go back to those goals, measure them, measure your success, and then celebrate your success, whether that's with your joint venture or whether that's for individual successes. Celebrating success is something I think is so important and often not done because people are so busy in the day-to-day life of their businesses. And one thing we do at Spark in our WhatsApp group is every Friday just encourage everyone to say, hey, what are you grateful for? What's gone well for you this week? And it sets you in a positive upward spiral rather than getting bogged down in the to-do list. And having that shared vision through setting goals is super important. So we mentioned earlier that a great way to meet a potential partner is via networking. Now, I'm sure most of you have been to a networking event, but not everybody has. And some people just think it's going to make them feel a little bit awkward and don't realise what the benefits of networking are. Well, if you look at the word networking, you've got the word net there. So if you think of a net, you've got lots and lots of different connections in that net. And so we have to remember that behind every person is a multitude of connections. So even if you come to a networking event and you meet me and you think, well, she's got nothing to do with my business, like, why do I need to talk to her? You don't know who is behind the person you're talking to and how many doors they can open for you. And if you show up unapologetically as yourself with no filter, and you are there representing your business and stating clearly what you do and how you help people, then perhaps that person may know a multitude of people that once they've got to know you, once they've built that trust with you, they're then going to pass those clients or potential clients onto you. So it's always worth going to a networking event. I like to think of it as sparks. The name Spark is quite personal to me because my son came up with it, and we've been on a journey throughout life, believe me, as well. But he's now 15, and if you've ever created a business and you're thinking, like, what should we call it? Many of you will know that you can sort of really go on for days and days and days trying to figure out a name. But that came from my son, and I love the name because if I think about networking and a net and all of these connections, you spark connections, you spark inspiration, you spark new ideas. Yes. So as I mentioned, we create really relaxed events that are designed to make people feel at ease when they walk through the door. We've got some tools where we prepare people to know who's going to be at the event, and also so that they can follow up with them afterwards. And there's a variety of different events that we offer as well. Some people love coming to a speed networking event because with speed networking, you're able to get around every single person in the room, whereas other people really detest it because it's exhausting and you don't stop talking. So if we did speed networking all the time, you know, it wouldn't be great. So therefore, we have a balance of events, some relaxed ones. We do some with a live band. We have many with business speakers like this one today. And then some speed networking events as well, and themed networking events as well. In fact, we've got a themed one coming up on the 1st of October in Tunbridge Wells at the White Bear. So I'm inviting trades, architects, property developers, estate agents, anyone you can think of that's property related. I'm inviting them along. But that said, there will still be a variety of other businesses there. All of our members are coming as well. So you don't have to be in property to come, but there will be some property speakers there. So the benefits of networking. As mentioned, it can open many doors and create big opportunities. It can create a supportive community around you. When you're running a business, it's not always easy. And often you've got your head stuck in so much work and it's hard to get away from. But if you can just carve the time out to go to a networking event, it gets you out of that to-do list and it opens up your mind and it's good for your mental health. And we've heard that a lot. It's really great for your mental health. I think we don't talk about this enough. Running a business is not easy and a lot of people struggle. But if you're in a community of people that are supporting you, that are also running businesses, it's awesome just to get out and go and talk to them, because often we've got similar sort of things that we're struggling with and we're dealing with. But really, you know, the biggest reason that people go to networking events is they want to have more clients, they want to have growth in their business, And that can lead then to finding a partner, a partnership for profit, which is essentially what this talk is about. And personally, the first thing I would think of when I'm looking for a partner is to go and mix with other business owners. So just a little bit about me. I might just be standing up here and you might be thinking, well, who on earth are you? And what gives you the authority to come and talk to us? I just want to share something a little bit personal, just so you can get to know me a bit more. I would never have been able to stand up and speak to people 15 years ago. Absolutely not. I was shy. I had social anxiety, and that was because I didn't have a great upbringing. In all honesty, I struggled through life, and I probably would have said I was a bit of a victim to all sorts of things that happened to me early on in life. That said, I don't regret that, because I believe we are all forged in the fire. And it's often when you've been through something difficult that you grow. I don't know if you can resonate with an experience like that. Lots of nods, yeah. But I just wanted to state to you that I've not always been good with people. I used to be a bit scared of people and just was worried all the time and be stuck in my own head. And the reason I wanted to speak about that is that a lot of people are worried about going to networking events, worried what they'll think people will think of them, or thinking they've got nothing to offer. But for me personally, it wasn't until 15 years ago until a consequence variety of events happened that were like pivotal events for me. Maybe you've had something like that happen in your life where a big event has happened and it's changed your mindset. And unfortunately for me, it was the passing of my own mum just after the birth of my second child. I was really ill in hospital. My son was really ill in intensive care. Then my mum was diagnosed with a few weeks to live. And I just did the only thing that felt right, which was to say, come and live with us. Because it was my mum. And what do? You know, so I got better from the hospital, came home with my son. My mum moved in with us, and she spent the last few months of her life surrounded by her family. I say months, it was weeks. And although that was incredibly hard, after she passed and I was back in hospital being fixed, because I had a trainee surgeon, by the way, for my cesarean, and that was the problem. So I was laying there in bed feeling absolutely like I couldn't move, and all I wanted to do at that point was to go out there to help people to do good, because I realised that life was short and we've only got one chance. So when I was laying unable to move, that's when something clicked in my brain. And since then, I've not stopped. I ran out, I didn't run out of the hospital, hobbled out of the hospital and got stronger and trained to do a marathon. I ran a couple of marathons and raised thousands of pounds for charity. I was first and foremost a mum to my two little ones, but gradually as they started going to school, I got into running my own businesses. I became a yoga teacher, and I was able to help others to heal. So that's one of my 3 businesses is running Yogi Tribe, where I get people together in beautiful places when I do retreats and help them to grow and have transformative experiences. And people say, well, how does that lead you to networking? But as far as I'm concerned, it's not a huge leap. Bringing people together in gorgeous venues, creating growth and transformation. So that's kind of what we represent at Spark. My kids were not happy that I used those photos, but they did give me permission and they are much older now. So I hope some of that resonated with you. And for those of you that run a business, it's no lie, until you start building a big team, we are there spinning loads of plates all the time, wearing lots of different hats. And so to be able to get out and meet others not only will allow you to look out for a potential partner if you're thinking about building a partnership. And I would also always say, keep your mind open to that idea. Don't be closed, because partnerships are so amazing when you get 2 skill sets and bring them together. But yeah, just stepping away from work sometimes and surrounding yourself by inspiring people also running their businesses is just such a benefit. So I'm going to get through these next slides quite quickly, just to give you a little bit of an idea of that we're not just a networking company at Spark, we're a flexible networking company with no heavy rules, but we also have training courses every single month. And these are just some of the training courses that we've run so far. And we've got a whole 12 months worth of training courses coming up from all sorts of subjects, such as property developing, no money down, property developing, leadership, YouTube. You know, the list is really, really long because I'm an active networker and I'm in several different networking and mastermind groups. Therefore, I've got access to some amazing experts. We've had recently a really popular workshop by somebody I'm going to bring out in a minute, who is a social media expert. And throughout that session, which was on Zoom, everybody got to learn how to create new leads and how to get really good at social media, which is essentially marketing that's going to bring you new clients. And thankfully, we've got an absolute expert in Spark that's so good. I've ended up employing her myself when I can. But just briefly, before every event, we have a guest list or the guest brochure. And that is, I mentioned that earlier, that's to prepare everyone before the event and have a tool to be able to follow up with people after the event. So that will show you the profile photo of everybody coming, and it will give you all of their links, their website, any contact details they want to share, and all of their social media links, so that we can support each other as a business community. So we get lots of great feedback from people that come to the events. Somebody here, Tiffany from the social assistant, said that she always had this vision that networking events were going to be super stuffy and that she'd feel like a fish out of water. But the way it was designed immediately put her at ease, and she loved every minute. And now I'd love to bring one of our members who's come today, who also has just become a really big part of Spark. If you wouldn't mind coming up, Grania, let's give her a round of applause. Thanks so much for coming, Grania. So, Grania, how long have you been a part of Spark?
I think it's February I joined, so not too long. But it has absolutely transformed my business, in all honesty. I used to think of networking as a bit of a sort of cult kind of, you all go and you say your bit and you move on, and it's all very stuffy and formal. And the first one that I went to was a speed networking. And although it was like, get your trainers on, you're running around, and it was a bit chaotic, it was just really fun. And Jess got a cowbell she dings, and it's bands going. Yeah, there's a band. And, it was sort of like fun chaos, but it just made me want to join it. Made me think, well, actually, this one could work out. And since joining, I've got new one-to-one clients, of course, but I've also had so much inspiration and so much support from the members. When I was sort of stuck with how to expand and how to grow, we sort of took over the members meeting one week and just sort of made it all about, quick focus on Grania and how I'm going to grow. And the ideas were just brilliant. And it's sort of having all these different businesses help me to flesh the idea out has now turned into something brilliant that I'm running next week. So
yeah, pretty much every single member in Spark have decided to partner with Grania, as in hire her to do their social media, that she is absolutely full. And so for that reason, she's now doing one-to-many training. Just tell us a little bit about your work.
Yeah, so I'm full with one-to-one clients now for full social media management. So now I'm running a content creation bootcamp for all manner of different businesses are going to be coming on the course. The course starts next week, Thursday. So I do have a couple of spots left. It's an in-person course going to be run in Sevenoaks. It's a 3-month course where you'll learn all about how to create content, social media in terms of Facebook, Instagram. We'll touch on LinkedIn. We'll touch on some private blog posts. There's going to be sections on creative caption writing, sections on using Canva, using AI, using tools to kind of make it easier for you. And they will also sort of finish the session with a big group brainstorm for ideas, and then physically in person, you schedule your content for the month ahead. So it's a 3-month course. So the end of the 3 months, you'll be able to walk away knowing how to manage your social media, knowing what reels are, knowing what trendy audios are, knowing how to make sure your text fits in the lines, all of that sort of really finicky information about how social media works. And then you will have actually scheduled your content in advance so that you can walk away and know how to do it for the rest of your life, hopefully, rather than having to employ someone to do it for you. So yeah, that's sort of where it's culminated. And that was obviously from the support of everybody at Spark to help me to figure that out as well. So that was fantastic.
Well, thank you, Gráinne. It's just been like incredible how like much your business has expanded in a short amount of time. And I'd say you're probably one of the most active members in Spark, which just proves that the more sort of energy and love you put into where you're focusing is, then the bigger your results are. So thank you so much. And sorry for dragging you up today. Thanks, Gráinne. So very briefly now, Spark was formed in 2022, just from an initial idea, just put on one event, and then everybody said, oh, you've got to do more of these. There's a gap in the market. You do things differently and it's fun. And actually, as business owners, it's important to let your hair down and have fun and relax as well. But it's all in the name of work. And then you meet all of these people to grow as a business, potentially finding partners as well that you can grow another business with or do or collaborate with. And we've now grown to be an established business, and you can probably tell I really love what we do here. So with our members community, they spark success, growth, connections, new clients, inspiration, collaboration, and investment. We've had quite a few investors coming to events, and we've got more of that happening. For anyone thinking about having an exit plan, talking about having a strategy of where you're going, maybe one day you want to exit your business. And so coming up next month, we have a webinar with some investors that are really educating people on how to sell your business and what you need to be doing right now. There's lots of talk that there's new regulations coming in via the new government, that the tax is going to be going up for anyone selling their businesses. So if that's you, then now is a good time to start thinking about that. But, you know, it's just a thought. I just briefly just put up the different benefits for members here. We have company memberships, which means with company memberships, if you've got a company with more than one person there, then you can send multiple employees to our events and trainings, or you can have an individual membership, and there's different styles there. So if you just wanted to attend the trainings, that would be Grow membership. If you wanted to just attend the members meetings, which are twice a month, that would be Gold membership. But if you want to take it a bit more seriously and come to all of the open networking events, which is really, you know, what people know us for, then you would want Star or Platinum. Platinum members get speaking opportunities at events, and they also get invited on the podcast. There are zillions of more benefits there, but I'm not going to rave on about that because that's not really what I'm here to talk about. It's about the idea of finding partners or partnerships for profit. What would happen if you didn't go to a networking event in the first place? It's like that sliding doors scenario. You might miss a whole range of opportunities. So it's always good to keep our mind open to those, and to remember that behind every single person are numerous doors that could open up for you in the future. So get out of your own way, take a deep breath, and show up unapologetically as you. You heard me share earlier that 15 years ago, there was no way I would have gone to a networking event or showed up as me. I was just hiding. And so I encourage you today to step forward and show up as yourself and be yourself, because that's what people like to see and to get to know. Doors will open and your business will grow, and that will then create more money and more freedom in your life. As we move forward, we're creating an app. We are growing a team. We are starting new Sparks all over the country. We've got leaders within our members. Not next month, in November, we've got a really lovely event where there's an award ceremony for a networking award ceremony. We ran it last year, and it's on the date that we started Spark in November 22nd. So that's exciting. We've got the Learning Lab, which is growing, the podcast, and all sorts happening all the time. This is our team, which is growing. I've just taken on someone else. I haven't been organised enough to put her picture on there, and she's just starting with us, but we are a growing team. We've got Brett, who's great at strategy, has worked with lots of blue chip companies and has a wealth of experience. We've got Adem, who is tech, and as you heard me say earlier, I need tech support for sure. And we've got Bernice and Grania, who are my admin angels. I could not do without. Grania, as you've met earlier, is a VA, but she's a social media expert. And Bernice is kind of that person that will just be there for me, whatever hour of the day, and be there for all of the admin. And she's there also supporting all of the members. So your network is your net worth. The relationships that you build today will shape your opportunities tomorrow. So invest in cultivating connections, and then together we can grow our businesses to new heights. So I'm just going to whiz through these slides because we are short on time. But I just want to, before I finish, ask you, do you know somebody potentially that you think would benefit from building their own networking company? This is our next step with Spark, and this evening I'm running a free webinar we've got quite a few, I don't know if the screen is showing really. We've got quite a few people coming to that. It's a totally free webinar, and it's a business opportunity for somebody else to be able to grow their own Spark community. So I think that's me. Thank you ever so much for listening. I really, really appreciate your time today. And I'll hand you back over to Jeff.
Brilliant, right? Thank you very much indeed, Jess. That was really great. So I like to when kind of listen to somebody speaking, I think there's a few points that came out really resonated with me. I'm sure did with you guys here, people online as well. So a couple of things that I thought were inspirational. Most entrepreneurs have got a story behind why they actually want to be an entrepreneur. So Jess kind of opened up and very heartfelt story there. So I thought that was great. Actually, as an entrepreneur, when you found a business, generally your story is the only thing that's unique about your business. So the rest of it, there's always other people that are doing something similar. So I think that's a really nice one. I think that the point around partnerships, that's definitely something that I think is really worth thinking about. You cannot be an expert in everything. So therefore, you need to partner. And actually, when you're working, particularly if you're looking at working with bigger businesses and you're a small business or a micro business, then partnership is a way of being able to offer all of the things that a big company has in terms of all the different skills. But you can do that as a small business. So the partnerships is a really important point. So thank you very much indeed, Jess. Really appreciate that. Right. So just to finish off the presentation, and then we will check see if there's any questions. Just to remind everyone about the West Kent Business Expo. That is coming up on the 12th of March. Contact us at expo@westkentbusiness.com. So the other thing that we are very excited to announce is that the launch of the micro grant scheme is today and is now. So the scheme launched this morning, and this is a really exciting opportunity for businesses in West Kent, because there aren't that many grant schemes out there that are don't require any match funding, B are focused on growth and include startups within that. And also it is a really simple process to go through. It's something that allows you to be able to put forward what your plan is, whether you're starting up, whether you're an existing business, what it's going to do, and it's a chance to get a chunk of money which will be able to help you with developing a part of your business, whether that's something to do with your digital platform, whether that's a piece of equipment that you're looking for, whether it's support from a business mentor. And we ran this scheme last year. It was really successful, and we got some great stories. Jess obviously talks about about her application. So this is something that I think will be a really great opportunity for any businesses out there. So there are a couple of key bits of information and then a link, and that will take you through to the application form and also an FAQ as well. So the first thing is that to apply, the web address is westkent.smartergrants.org. And it's a really simple platform. You can go on there and you can put your application in, and that's where you put all your details in. We've kept the application form is very simple. The application's open today, and the applications close on Wednesday, the 9th of October at 5 p.m. Okay, so you've got just over 3 weeks. And so that's so in terms of the application, what I would suggest is that you get on and start thinking about the application now, and aim to have the application in well before the deadline, so you're not stressing with anything or any sorts of issues like that. So all of the information is in there. If you go onto the grant site, then you will be able to find out any additional information. It will explain to you the eligibility criteria. So key things are that you are based in one of the 3 districts. So that's Sevenoaks, Tunbridge and Malling, and Tunbridge Wells. So that's obviously very important. If you received a grant in the previous round, which you will know about, then you are not eligible for this round. So that's one thing. So that's the other important area. And then it will also just explain a little bit about the timings of it, in terms of any specifics around what you can spend the money on, and so forth. So all of the information is in there, and so start going in there. Any questions? There is a help button to be able to contact Smarter Grants team in terms of how you're going to work, but it's a very simple application. So other than that, I will just check to see if we have any questions. So I'm going to stop the sharing. Okay, so we've got some questions about the grant scheme. So a question around the first question is why is the grant scheme not open to previous awardees? So really good question. So that's part of the rules around, so that the funding comes from a part of the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. And so what happens with that is that when you run a grant scheme, and the grant scheme that we ran, so this is a program over so this is 2 years, this one. Then you can't award 2 grants to the same business. So, and that's part of the rules that's set by UK government. So that's the reason why. Another question is how do you decide who to award the grants to? So what happens is that all of the applications go in, and there is a grant approval panel that is run by each of the districts. Okay, so it's not West Kent Business that do that. The districts do all of the awards. What they'll be looking for is that they'll be looking for really compelling applications from businesses that are clearly demonstrating that either they've got a fantastic idea to grow, or alternatively they're putting in loads of effort, and this will help them to take a step forward in their business. So it's all about the story around that. We've set a really fairly tight word limit. So be as specific as possible as to how this money is going to help your business, and that's effectively how the grants will be scored out. So yeah, so and there's some guidance on the site in terms of doing that. So finally, so another question's come up, which is for Emily. Are you able, and this is, are you able to give any more information about the capital grant scheme, or should we let people know and send that out when it launches next week?
I think best if we could send it out when it launches next week.
No problem at all. So thank you for that question. So what we'll do is we will make sure that everybody on the webinar gets a link that gets sent out once the capital grants are launched. What we'll also do is make sure that all the details go out on all of the West Kent Business social media, so that you have all the details for that. And also for the link for the grants that open today, that also is just about to go out or has gone out on all of the social media platforms. Good. Okay. I think that is all of the Q&As today. So really just a big thank you firstly to Emily, a big thank you to Jess, big thank you to the team at Meeting Point. And if you've not been to Meeting Point, then you should come along for the come and take a look at it. Have a look at the facilities that we've got available here, because it's a really great place to either do some shared working facility or book a meeting room or so forth. So actually, we do have one question in the room.
Yeah, but it's a couple actually. Are there any restrictions on what you can ask for? You know, are there any areas that you'd say no, that's a definite no?
So just for the people online, if you didn't hear that, so the question was, is there any restrictions around what you can spend the money on? So the eligibility is detailed in the FAQs, and so this is really it's probably more about making sure that what people are spending the money on, you know, that there is a real clear reason as to how it's going to help their business. So what's useful for one business is going to be different to another business.
So you haven't got any particular restrictions?
Yeah, I think it's really justifying why you're going to spend that money there.
And the only other question was, you said that you had to obviously be registered with West Kent Business. Can you register via the grant application, or do you have to do that separately first?
So if you go into the grant application and register through that, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, okay, that's no problem.
When's the awards made?
So the awards will be made at the end of October. So applications finish the 9th of October, and then the awards will be, and then the payment will be made, and you can obviously then anyone who's successful can then work that. So.
How many people will be successful?
Uh,
Will receive the grant?
So do you know what, actually, that's I can't remember so the last time it was around about 30 awardees.
How many people applied?
Not sure, but it's a popular scheme to apply. But I think the thing is what we found was that that people that really put a good application in, you know, there were some people that put applications in that perhaps either they didn't put a great deal of time into it. You know, those that really put effort into it, I think, have got a really good chance at actually accessing the grant this time.
Do you have any coaching programs going on like you rolled out before, the 4 or 8 hours?
Okay, yeah, great. So this is a question about the coaching program. So we are waiting to see around the funding. So the coaching program that has been run by West Kent Business. We've coached in fact, I think we are now at 100 entrepreneurs that have been through the coaching process, and that's across the 3 districts. So at the moment, the plan will be hopefully that there is going to be some more coaching going forward. Best way to find out about that is to follow us on social media, follow us on LinkedIn, and follow us on Facebook, and that's where you'll find out about any more details around that. So.
Sorry, I just thought of something else. Is it open to only certain structures of business, or CICs and things like that? Can they apply as well?
So the question there was about what type of businesses can apply. So actually, it's open to all types of organisations. So whether you are a freelancer, whether you are a limited company, whether you're thinking about starting up a business, whether you're a community interest company or a charity, it's open to all of them. So. Good. Okay. Super. Well, a big thank you to everyone, and we will look forward to seeing you at the next event. Thank you.